Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. It has been quite some time. The portfolio is doing pretty good, 5.94. Again, this does include after hour pricing, so you can't really go off it. 2 days ago, it was 5.14. I think we ended Friday at like 5.2, so really not crazy. And this is basically based on the beginning of the year, no distributions from 2025, but we do, I am including the growth in it. So obviously it's not going to be entirely correct. But yeah, so far this is a portfolio: ET, EQB, OZK, RX, SRR, C. This is NET/UN, Canadian Net REIT, DE, MHC, SVOL, PDI, EQCL, PDIV, and ECHI, ECHI. Now, we are not talking about this, and I do also have some options going currently on the VIX that I'm planning to close Monday and in turn to buy these other income funds. It is obviously up in the air. I have been talking to someone that has been, a pretty decent, trying to push me on the right path, which it's blatantly worked out. EQB is a prime example. I was iffy on it, and then he's like, oh, the growth is good, everything's good, you should buy it. Bought it, and now I'm up 26%. ET's good, you should buy it. It's a great, higher yielding fund. I'm up 7.4. OZK is great, you should buy it. I'm up 6.51. RX, I'm up 8.25. So, it's done pretty well. Canadian Net REIT, I'm up 8.76. MHC, I'm up 10.86. SVOL, I'm up 8%, and then etc., which has done pretty good. ECHI is the newest position, which is why the growth is very freaking low. But yeah, so I do own a few other holdings outside of this, mostly Netflix, and then again, UVIX, which I'm not including in this because I plan to get out of UVIX, and Netflix is just a long-term hold, doesn't pay a dividend, it kind of fudges with the numbers quite a bit, so I have no desire to, mess with it too much. So yeah. Either way, we're talking about the income funds that hike their dividend that I'm actually kind of interested in opening a position in. Right off the bat, we have Brampton Split Corp Enhanced Equity Income ETF, ticker CLSA. It hiked its dividend from 13 cents to 18. Massive distribution. The price is 14.42. It gives you about a 14.8% yield on cost if you were to buy it, and then just going down to distributions. Came out at 10, you guys can see here, then hiked it to 11.5, hiked it to 13, and now hiked it to 18. Now, split corps are very unique because they have quite a few rules involved in them, and they're also very highly leveraged, and in my opinion, they're extremely risky. I do not like them. But an 18 or a 14, almost 15% yield actually makes it, reasonable to open a position if you really want to take on all of the risk. So, looking at it, it's only down 6%, yield is 10, blah, 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 whatever. So, there's a few things we need to go over. One of them is the reason for the dividend hike, which, spoiler, is this thing right here. So, a lot of split corps, beginning of this year, end of last year, announced a share split and then an increase in the total distribution. So, what this fund does is it doesn't actually give you a dividend hike. It gives you a shares like this. So, for example, you will receive 10 shares for every 100 you own, but will keep the dividend the same. So it's basically like giving you a 10% dividend hike. It's really weird. This is just how they do it, and I don't quite understand why. But this is basically what they do. So this one, SBC, and a few others all chose to do it. And in doing so, they basically assisted in helping this thing to increase the distribution from 13 to 18, because a lot of them was 10. There was one Life Co. It's escaping my brain right now. I think it was like a 12% hike. Another one was a 10% hike, and then the one we just looked at was 10% too. All of that plus very good growth, because again, this thing came out at $10, and you're up 44% if you owned it then. On top of that, your distribution is now freaking massive. But, for new people like me that are looking at it, I'm kind of interested in it. Now, one big thing that makes me a bit iffy on it is the split share rule, which is, you guys can come to this site and look at this. I imagine they do say it. So, how Split Corp works is, it's called a Split Corp for a reason. You have the Class A, and then you have the preferred. The preferred always will normally float around $10. The Class A is where all the growth is, but also all the risk. So, let's say, hypothetically, your Class A is fit $5 and your preferred is 10. It will no longer pay a distribution. It has to be above 1510 for it to pay you a monthly distribution. And this is the same rule for every single split corp. You can go and you can easily see it. Brampton has their own funds, which I'm trying not to do too much clicking, so I'm gonna kind of avoid it. But you guys, actually here we can just go into products, split share corps. Maybe it will show it. Sorry, I'm doing the touch screen just so you guys don't have to hear clicking, but it's very annoying. There we go, it worked. So you guys can see down here, so DGS, so you have the market closing price, and then you have the NAV, and then so it's 813, so take 813, and then add $10 onto it, and that's preferred share. So same thing with all these. So, you know, SBC is very well known for being very like safe, like the safest out of all of them. And this is, you're looking at about 24 you know, distribution, like a $24, so it has to fall, what is that, $9 for you to stop getting paid. And then, like, you know, you have a ESP Energy Split Corp, which might just start paying, but it's very much up in the air, and this thing constantly doesn't pay, so I do not recommend you buy it. GDV, same thing with LBS and LCS. I think LCS was the other one that did a split. And then PWI, same thing. So keep that in mind, is that if this falls to 15, you're not getting paid. That's the risk of it. You get a massive dividend yield. You guys can see 14.29%. If that falls, like ESP is a great example. If it falls, what is that? 40 cents, you're not getting paid. So what's the point of owning it? You can own all of them through this. So current distribution rate, again, it's not there yet because it's a newer fund. But that's the risk with these. I'm not going to talk. Actually, I think that's pretty much it. It owns all of them. You guys can see here. I'm imagining this Canadian Bank Corp Class A being in two different places. You guys can see it here and then at the very bottom. The reason for that is because of that split, which I think they are either going to add into it or they're just, you know, end of the month sell, or, you know, whatever they want to do with the extra shares they get. So I am blaming, or, you know, saying it's for that reason they increased it so much, as well as just how well it's performed, and now it actually makes it kind of viable to buy into it. The next one is BMAX. This guy increased their distribution. It's going to refresh this because I don't know why it's not showing the rest. There we go. This guy's increased it a few times. 15.5, or sorry, 11.5, 12, and then now 12.5. This is their fund of funds. It owns a ton of BMAX's funds, or at least the ones that you kind of care about. So Tech Leaders, North American Financial, Global Infrastructure, Global Dividend Growth ETF, European Dividend Growth, Flaherty, I don't even know this one. I don't even bother investing in it. Healthcare Income, North American Low Volatility, Split Corp Preferred Split Corps we were talking about. And Wellington Square Grade Collateralized Loan Obligation ETF. And yeah, it just continues to perform very well, continues to hike, and so on and so on. Next we have HDIF. Now HDIF is Harvest Fund of Fund. And this one is actually pretty interesting. This is the one I am actually going to open a position in. I clicked the wrong thing. God damn it. Right here. This is everything inside the fund. So going over it, we have HVOI, it's basically low volatility income. Healthcare, I own one very like micro small cap. Global brands, EQCL is my only other global exposure. I'll take it. Tech, I have a decent amount. Industrial, Decisive Dividend Corp, DE.V is mine. REITs, I own a decent amount. Travel, nothing. Utilities, nothing. US banks, OZK is not in there, so nothing. Canadian leaders, again, I own basically none, so nothing. So this thing gives me like nice exposure to a ton of stuff I'm actually looking for. And to top it all off, you guys can see the current yield. This is based off the last payment, which was 0.0741. Well, to everyone's surprise, they increased it to 9 cents. So now it is sitting at a 12% yield, which is, in my opinion, freaking crazy. But everyone can form their own opinion on it. Because you guys can see right here, this is their old one. You guys can also see their total distribution is not very much at all, and I think this thing's been out for like 2 years now. No, it's been more, 2022. So there you go. So it's been out for 4 years now, and the performance has been pretty good. 13, 12, 18, 15. So, you know, I'm very interested in it. It gives me a lot of exposure, and then, of course, everything inside of it hikes, so therefore it will also increase distributions. And finally, we have a dividend decrease from my favorite fund, EQCL. This one was admittedly very expected. Current yield of 11.67%. That is obviously going to drop, I think, to 11.3, 11.4. Broad market, equity, world, asset class. I love this one. This is my global exposure. You guys can see the old distribution right here, 23.5, 11.5%, 12 months trailing yield, pays monthly. Everything's done very, very, very well. If we go year to date, it hasn't been great. 1 year, though, managed to recover from an 18, go all time. Came out at 19, basically ran all the way up to almost 23.50, dropped back down to 19.50, and then ran right back up. I regret this because I bought it pretty damn aggressively down in like the 20-50 range, and then it just fully recovered. So I did sell for a minor gain at like 23, and then I rebought it at a 23.25, I think, and now I'm regretting it. I wish I would have held on to it. So you guys can see they did it before. So way down here you have 22.50. Okay, good. You guys can see it. 22.50, and what they did was they decreased it to 22. They hiked it to 23.50, and now they're decreasing it to 23 cents. So this is very expected. I'm honestly expecting them to kind of hike the distributions again, probably sometime this year, but they'll hike it to 24.50, cut it to 24, and then, you know, just go from there type thing. But yeah, so a lot of funds I don't own. I am planning to buy hopefully 100 shares of most of these, and then I will just drip it from here and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, have a good one, everyone. Bye.